Hi everyone, thanks for joining this lesson. Today we've got once again grammar lesson. So, we were talking earlier about the group of present tenses. We were considering how to express future actions. And for this lesson, I'm going to speak about group of past tenses. Welcome. So, the first question to you. Will you tell me how many tenses are included in the group of past tenses? Yeah, you are right. So, the first tense is past simple. The next, we shouldn't forget about progressive one, okay? Or sometimes it's called past continuous tense. The next one, past perfect. And the last one, past perfect progressive. So, well done. What should we say at first? We have to say that past tense in English is used in order to talk about the actions in the past. The next, to express the politeness. And to talk about a hypothesis. So when we imagine something. And traditionally, we have to start from the first point, from the past simple tense. That's a basic grammar. So, simple past. What does it express and how does it work? It expresses actions started and ended in the past. So, look at the scheme. You can see the verb with ed ending plus or maybe ed ending for regular verbs and the past tense form for irregular ones. So, do you remember there are two kinds of verbs in English language? The first one is regular one. Okay, so regular verb is formed with the help of ending ed. Do you remember? Okay, don't forget about it. So, an example. For example, walked or looked. The next verb is irregular one. It is changed another way. So we have to use the special table of irregular verbs. And as you remember, we have to use just the second form of it. It is called past tense. And examples: buy, bought, come, came, do, did. Okay, let's continue. Now we have to speak about types of sentences. The first one is affirmative. So, we went to London last summer. As you see, that's a hint for you, last summer. Interrogative one. Did we go to London last summer? As you see, the verb did is auxiliary one, okay? It helps us to ask the question, or maybe to show the negative sentence. And negative sentence is, we don't go to London last summer. And I'd like to show you a short video how past simple is used in English. Welcome.
Did you have a good weekend, Monica? Oh yeah, it was great. So what did you do? On Saturday, I went to the theater with my parents. What play did you see? I saw Cinderella, and it was an amazing show. What did you like the most? I like the costumes and the song.
Okay, don't forget, two kinds of verbs and the ed ending for regular and past tense for irregular verbs. Let's continue. The next point we have to speak about past progressive. So, it expresses ongoing actions that were happening at some point in the past. So, the formula is was or were plus main verb with ing ending, which is called also present participle. Okay? So, let's consider the samples. Affirmative sentence. We were watching the film at 5 p.m. yesterday. We were watching. That was an action in duration, okay? So, interrogative one. So, were they watching the film at 5 p.m. yesterday? As you see, the verb to be is put at the first position of this sentence. And negative one. They were not watching the film at 5 p.m. yesterday. And a short video, once again, how to use past progressive tense. Welcome.
How was your day, Julia? Oh, I had an awful day. It seemed to be such a lovely day at the beginning. I was sitting on the balcony, drinking a cup of coffee. The sun was shining, someone was playing a violin in the street, and I was enjoying a beautiful afternoon.
Okay, the formula of past progressive is was and were, or a verb plus a present participle. Was shine, the sun was shining, I was sitting. Okay, let's continue. The next tense is past perfect. So, it is used when we have to express actions that were completed, pay attention, were completed before some point in the past. And the formula. So, had plus past participle. Past participle, it's ed ending for regular verbs and the third form of irregular ones. Don't forget. So, samples. Affirmative sentence. So, I had lost my keys and I couldn't get into the house. As you see, two actions. The first one, I had lost. The second, I couldn't get into the house. Interrogative one. Had I lost my keys before I couldn't get into the house? That's a question. And negative one. I had lost my keys and I could get into the house. So, and once again, a short video.
What happened?
It started when I was getting ready to meet Anne. After I had brushed my teeth, I used some mouthwash to make sure my breath would be extra fresh. At first, I was fine, though it was a strong taste. But the taste got more intense as I rinsed my teeth, and my mouth felt like it was on fire. Then I looked at the bottle I had used. I realized I had rinsed my mouth with aftershave instead of mouthwash.
It's a comic situation. To mix aftershave with the mouthwash, it's awful. But you have to remember about grammar. Had plus past participle. Let's get started and continue to speak about past perfect progressive. So this kind of tense expresses the actions that started in the past, continued until up another time in the past, okay? And the grammatical structure is had been plus present participle. You see? So, let's speak about samples. Affirmative sentence. Father had been working for 3 hours when Rachel came home. As you see, father had been doing something, right? Had been working. And interrogative sentence. Had father been working for 3 hours when Rachel came home? And negative one. Father hadn't been working for 3 hours when Rachel came home. Okay, and short video.
She had been riding the subway when she had the idea to call me. She asked where Carl and I were, so I told her. She decided that she would visit the Statue of Liberty with us. Carl had been getting more and more irritated with Lucy, but that was too much for him.
Had been doing, don't forget. So, I think it's time to check our abilities and skills. I think you've just caught up everything, right? So, let's get started from the first exercise. You have to complete the sentences. I was exhausted at the end of the exam, and I for over 2 hours. There is a hint for you. For over 2 hours and 2 actions. Okay, just maybe one action and another one is state. So, I was exhausted because I had been writing for over 2 hours, okay? The next, when thieves stole my favorite leather jacket, I was really upset. So, and I eat for over 10 years. That's the past perfect, of course. We have to speak about I had it for over 10 years. And the next, please step out of the car, Mr. Jones. Do you realize you drive at over 90 miles per hour? Which grammar should be given there? I think past progressive, yeah? So, do you realize you were driving over? And the next, no one even noticed when I got home. They all watched the big game on TV. Okay, so that's the past continuous once again. And we have to say they were all watching the big game on TV. Well done. The next exercise we have to do and choose the correct verbs. So in this exercise you shouldn't change the form of verbs because the different forms are given. Your task is to choose the appropriate one. Let's get started. So we to the cinema last week. You have to pay attention to the context of this sentence. You see, last week, which tense is it? It's past simple, of course, and we have to say, we went to the cinema. The next, yesterday at 9, he in front of his computer. Will you try to guess which words are hint for you, okay? So that's yesterday at 9. It's a kind of specific time in the past, you see? And which tense should be given there? Past progressive. So he was sitting in front of his computer. And the last, when their mom got home, the boys TV for 2 hours. Do you remember about 2 actions? Okay? Mom got home, that's the second action. What about the first one? Which tense should be used there? Past perfect continuous, because the duration of this action is given there. So, had been watching. Well done. Let's continue. Now we have to guess the relevant tenses. There are some notions or descriptions are given, and your task to guess which is concerned to the tense. So, what tense is used to emphasize that an action was completed before another took place? Which tense is it? Can you guess? Right, that's past perfect. The next, which tense is used to show that an ongoing action in the past has ended? That's past perfect continuous or progressive. The next, which tense is used to describe a completed action that started in the past and ended in the past? That's past simple. And the last one, will you tell me, which tense is used to describe an ongoing activity in the past? And don't forget, it's often, it is used, this kind of tense is used to set the scene for another action. That's, of course, past progressive tense. Okay, well done. So you have to remember all hints about these 4 tenses, but the last exercise we have to do. So, we have to fill in the blanks with an appropriate verb form. Let's look at the first sentence. During our vacation last summer, we most of our time in the swimming pool. What can we do with time? We can look at the left column. Can you see the relevant verb? Yeah. So, spend the time, yeah? But when we are talking about past simple tense, there should be the form of spent. It has been disappeared now, and now it will appear spent, okay? Most of our time in the swimming pool. The next, by the 18th century, English shipping as efficient as the Dutch. You have to pay at the words by the 18th century. I think perfect tense should be given there, right? Okay, let's consider and try to choose the right one. So, had become, disappeared. So, when it will appear in the sentence, it's the right answer. And the next, when I heard the news about you, I anxious. Do you have an answer? So, anxious, angry, aggressive. That's a verb to become anxious, right? This kind of state. And you have to substitute it, to change it in the past, to form it in the past tense. So, it is became, right? And the last one, we in Norway for nearly 25 years until we moved to Scotland 2 years ago. And that's a hint for you. Nearly 25 years, that's a duration. We have to speak about had been living, right? So, we had been living in Norway for nearly 25 years until we moved to Scotland 2 years ago. So, thanks for your attention. We were talking about the group of past tenses. I hope it was useful for you. So, it would be very appreciated if you leave a like for our channel. Thank you very much and see you at the YouTube channel. See you, bye.